It's time to keep track. Here are the final stats.
All right, so for curses, we're kind of mild on the curses in this movie. Actually, no, we weren't. Never mind.
I was going to say, I felt like when he talked, there were a lot of cursing.
There were 37 total curses in this movie, which actually puts it up on the higher end behind Bad Lieutenant and Weatherman, which had 60 and 40, respectively. So this is third for total number of curses. I think they were just a little bit less intense than tons of fucks, which is what other movies have had. Yeah. Anyway, so we had 4 uses of hell, 4 uses of goddamn or goddammit, 8 uses of shit, 7 uses of ass, and 5 uses of asshole. One of them's the dog. You got it in the cages. That dog is an asshole. 9 uses of fuck, which is pretty low, actually. Yeah, that puts it behind Pig, which had 2, and Bringing Out the Dead, which had 2. And the next one is Dog Eat Dog with 15. So, or sorry, Die in the Light with 14. So 9 is actually on the lower end of things, but
wow.
More of a reserved performance, I guess. So that brings a total of 37 for this movie and a grand total of 408 curses so far.
Runtime, this was 117 minutes. Puts it kind of upper middle, a little bit longer than Color Out of Space, but right below Gone in 60 Seconds, Mandy, Bringing Out the Dead, Bad Lieutenant, National Treasure, and Face Off. Face Off is a full 22 minutes longer than this film.
God damn.
And even this movie felt kind of long. I mean,
yeah.
It's almost 2 hours, which is, like I said, mid-high level as far as runtime so far. We had 2 instances of nudity in this film. We had both in the same scene. The guy's ass while he's with the prostitute, and we see her breast. We see one breast specifically. So that gives us a grand total of 22 breasts. We have 2 female asses, 5 male asses. So we're like way higher on the male ass. 1 vagina, 1 penis so far. I have a correction. I had Texas was not on here for all this time, and we had Ghost Rider forever ago. And so I've been miscounting for quite a while now that Texas hadn't been in our list, but we were again in Texas.
In Ghost Rider, was it? I thought we
said Texas, but I for some reason left it off of the future show sheets after that. So apologies.
So we're back at Texas.
Don't write us.
Yeah, each one of those episodes that we've done since would be like, you forgot Texas again.
And then they'll get to this episode and I'm like, well, I didn't finish it, so I never heard you say that.
So that brings us up to 15 total states. This is the second time that we've been to Texas, so apologies for missing that. I screwed up on the budget and the gross tracker at the end of the last season too, and I think it was like, usually what I do is I duplicate the show sheet for the next episode, so I keep track of everything like that, and rather than in a big spreadsheet like you do with the curse trackers. So I had left it off, and like I kept saying the wrong totals for a few episodes, so I cut them out on all those episodes. So everything should be correct now. But this movie had a $4 million budget and made $2.4 million. So a bit of a loss. Indie film, probably wasn't a big wide release. David Gordon Green, though, had some pretty good heat at that point with, I think Pineapple Express had already been out at that point. Mm-hmm. This was 2013, so yeah. So that gives us a grand total of $559.5 million budget with a $1.195 billion gross. So close to double the budget so far. As far as top grossing films, is nowhere near. This is kind of like right smack dab in the middle. We've had quite a few like kind of direct to video releases, but this was sandwiched in between Mandy and Pig, which were probably the 2 best performances that we've had from Nick Cage so far in the entire show. So these are kind of the 3 best Nick Cage performances, and they're like all on the low end of how much money they made.
Yeah, that sucks. That's sad because
it's like I said before, like one of my big issues with those big summer blockbuster tentpole movies is that they kind of overshadow the better performances sometimes, because everybody thinks of Nick Cage as, National Treasure, Face Off, those movies, rather than these performances, which this movie, like, nobody's heard of this movie. I feel like Joe was so forgotten. He turned down Expendables 3 and he turned down Killing Season. Yeah. Which we asked. What was the other one? Sorry? Killing Season, the one with Travolta and De Niro. Which would have reteamed him. We talked about it in the Face Off episode. But he turned down both of those movies, which were big paydays. I mean, he would have gotten millions of dollars, and he was flat broke at this point in his career. Yeah. But he wanted to do this movie so much so he came over and did this instead of a movie that would have returned him to summer blockbuster levels with Expendables 3. So,
you know what's funny is, sorry, just a quick aside, because I don't think we talked about this. If I remember correctly, I think he said Ghost Rider kind of broke him from doing big budget films. And it makes sense, because after Ghost Rider, we see a lot of his smaller films. National Treasure, obviously he was kind of in there, but
that was before Ghost Rider, I think.
Yeah,
was it?
I think
was the second Treasure was 2005.
I'll try. Oh, maybe Ghost Rider and National
Spirit
Treasure
of Vengeance was like 2011. I think maybe it was Spirit of Vengeance that broke him.
Ghost Rider was 2007, right, or 2008?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, so I mean, it does make sense, because like if you look at his career after that, he's done just a shit ton of small films, indie films.
I think he wanted to do stuff that he wanted to do. I think he'd reached a point in his career where he was like, I don't need to do this crap anymore. I want to get back to doing things that I'm genuinely passionate about.
Yeah, it sounded like he puts so much into those works, and for them to flop, because that second Ghost Rider was talked up quite a bit, and then it just fucking tanked.
It was terrible too.
I think that broke him. It sounds like it broke him, and he wanted to just kind of go back to things that he felt more in touch with. So,
if there was that award he just got, or whatever he was being honored at that ceremony, was it for Pig or whatever? He got into acting because he wants to share emotion with the world, and so I think you can't do that if you're playing Johnny Blaze in a shitty sequel to, an already not great comic book movie. He likes comics, he likes comic movies, but unless he can work with somebody like Marvel Studios, who might give him a little bit more opportunity to have an emotional role, he's not going to get that, especially from summer blockbusters these days. So
fingers crossed, we'll find out in Doctor Strange 2.
Ratings. This was an R-rated film, so it did get a rating. So that brings us up to 9 total R ratings, which is easily the highest, but behind 5 unrateds, 5 PG-13s, a PG, and no Gs so far, but we will get there soonish. Which brings us to the kill tracker.
All right, so kills. 2 kills.
You're not going to count G-Dog?
G-Dog.
Or the dog.
Or the dog. No, G-Dog did that to himself.
Yeah.
But that fucking pilot in Wicker Man I still say that's Nick's fault. So he's staying on the fucking tracker. Don't at me. And it's been a while since we've had a track death, but he died. Yeah. He died in this one. So that brings us up to 8 deaths, which is crazy. I mean, all these films and only 8 deaths. We came out hot and heavy with him dying in like every
5 in a row.
Film. And then since then it's died down, and we've only had 3 since. It's pretty interesting though to see how it's going to be interesting to see how this all pans out by the end of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.